Fun fact: this scientific classification of plants was first introduced by the scientist Carolus Linnaeus. Initially, it was his method of classification that was used by everyone. Plants that bear flowers are called flowering plants, and plants that do not bear flowers are called non-flowering plants. All these different types of classification based on the shape, the height of the plant, the period of their life cycle, whether the plants are bearing flowers or not, is all based on the observation that humans have made. They are easily observing what is the differences between each plant and noting them down, and accordingly then classifying or differentiating them into different classes or groups. Now coming to animals. What kind of body parts do animals have? Generally, animals have body parts like a head, a neck, a torso or a chest, a tail, and limbs for movement. They have various organ systems which carry on various functions, and they are present inside their body. Though not all animals have the same similarities and structures, but they still have some presence or some similarities regarding their neck, their torso, their tail, and their limbs. And on the basis of these similarities, they are categorized into groups. Some are having tall tails, some do not have a tail. Some have a strong, hard body, some have feathers on their body and are soft to the touch. Some are very bright and colorful, whereas some are able to camouflage into the environment. Some have a very long lifespan, whereas some have a short lifespan. Now, how are animals categorized? Depending on the number of cells, animals are divided into two types. Unicellular, which means they have only a single cell out of which their body is made, and multicellular, which means their body is made up of many cells together. And the example of a unicellular animal or organism is the amoeba, and a multicellular organism is the horse, the human beings, dogs, cats, etc. These unicellular and multicellular animals are not similar to each other in the aspect that, in case of multicellular organisms, they have various organs made up of many cells and which are performing various specific functions. For example, the brain is for thinking and not for pumping blood. But in case of unicellular organisms, all their functions are performed by one single cell, and they do not have organs present inside their single cell. Now, on the basis of presence or absence of a vertebral column, they are categorized or classified into two groups: vertebrates and invertebrates. What is a vertebral column, you ask? The vertebral column you can consider is the spinal cord. You know that the humans also have a spinal cord. So if an organism has a spinal cord, put into the group of vertebrates. And if an organism does not have a spinal cord, it is put into the group of invertebrates. Not all organisms need to have a vertebral column. For example, is your unicellular organisms, which do not need to stand straight. Rather, they creep and crawl and live on various different organisms. They are spread out on the ground or on the surface. The vertebral column is used to give support to the living organism and is used for supporting various organs inside the body of that organism and gives a proper structure to the body. Now there are animals which lay eggs and there are animals which give birth to their young ones directly. Animals that lay eggs are called as oviparous animals, and animals that give birth to young ones directly without laying eggs are called viviparous animals. In case of oviparous animals, the animals that lay their eggs, the newborn needs to come out of the egg and the time period of their growth is a little lengthened. Whereas in case of viviparous animals, where the adult animal gives birth to the young one directly, the growth is rapid and the young one does not have to break out of their egg. Based on the habitat, animals are classified as aquatic, terrestrial, and amphibious. 3 categories. Aquatic means animals that live on water. Terrestrial means those animals that live on land. And the amphibious category are those animals that live both on land as well as on water. Again, I tell children that we need this classification of various animals based on their habitat, the number of cells in their body, etc., so that we can study about the variety of or diversity of animals and plants present on the earth. There are so many variety of organisms present on the earth, and if they are classified in proper groups, it is easier to study about their similarities and their differences. Now let me ask you a question and see if you have been paying attention in this video. What are plants that can prepare their own food called? Plants that prepare their own food are called autotrophic plants. Most of the plants on the earth are autotrophic, like mango, gulmohar, oleander, coconut. All these, most of the trees which you see around you, plants which you see around you, is autotrophic plants. And also they do not have a limitation in their life cycle that depends on any other organism. When it comes to heterotrophic plants and insectivorous plants, they are dependent on other organisms for their food. As soon as those organisms become extinct in the vicinity, these heterotrophic plants and insectivorous plants also die without the ability of without gaining or without of food. Next question. What are pitcher plants? Autotrophic plants, heterotrophic plants, or insectivorous plants? Yes, pitcher plants are examples of insectivorous plants. The flower of the pitcher plant is vase-shaped and it is having great depth inside. Once the insects enter inside the flower, they are trapped inside the juices of that flower and then they die there. After their death, the plant absorbs the nutrition from these insects. In plants, which part is the important means of reproduction? Yes, the flower is the part of the plant that is an important mean of reproduction. The whole purpose of the flower is to induce and increase the chances of reproduction and bear fruit. What are animals that lay eggs called? Animals that lay eggs are called oviparous animals.